So much Mataji for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji. This is Kamudaki Dasi from Baltimore. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, and all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mother Kamadiki Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your beautiful association. Hare Krishna.
Nice sari, spring color, green. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to assembled devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Radha
Mataji.
Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvind Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the assembled devotees on the call. And all glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Anita from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anta Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Radha Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Dasi from Raleigh.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and to all the assembled devotees here. This is Megha from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mega Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shyamagari Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shyamagari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Anita Mataji. Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
And also Radha Mataji also.
Yes.
Yeah, nice, nice, both of you. Looking so beautiful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
I like pink.
Mataji, there is one
next
Mataji has introduced herself in the chat. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna, Rekha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devi Dasi from Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinitakandarika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, is the Rekha Mataji joining for the first time?
Hare Krishna, Rekha Mataji.
I don't know. I think she dropped off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else would like to introduce?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Mataji, your
Hare
voice.
Krishna Mata. Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavats Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. This is Shiromani Nandarani Devidasi from Qatar. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Shiromani Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are fortunate to have His Grace Pran Govind Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 18th chapter, verse 33 onwards. I am requesting Suresham Prabhuji for giving brief introduction of Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Suresham Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam always to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. I would like to hand over call to you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. A brief introduction about Pran Govind Prabhuji. His Grace Pran Govind Prabhuji was born in Kumilia, Ampi Nagara in East Pakistan in the year 1962 and later shifted to Tripura, India. It was in 1971 when he saw Srila Prabhupada first time during a program. He decided to become a devotee. In 1977, he visited Mayapur for the first time and was initiated by Bhavananda Maharaj in 1979. From 1981 to 86, Prabhuji was working in Mayapur as a guest house manager. In 1986, during the 500th anniversary of Lord Chaitanya, he served as the first general manager in Mayapur, managing the Gaur Purnima festival. From 1980 to 89, Prabhuji served as a facilitator of prasadam and accommodations for GBCs, sannyasis, devotees, and life members. He also served as a life membership director and fundraiser for Mayapur temple. In 1989, His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj and His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj kindly took him with them to travel across Europe. They then brought him to America, where His Holiness Badrinarayana Maharaj and His Holiness Mukunda Goswami, who knew him from Mayapur, engaged him in cultivating congregational services in Santiago, California. Prabhuji took Vanaprastha in the year 2012. For many years, he has been serving the devotees in Alachua temple every day. He crosses various parts of America, preaching the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Back to you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Pran Govind Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now I would like to hand over call Prabhuji. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Please accept my obeisances of to Prabhupada. Mataji, I sent something to Mother Shema Gaur.
We'll share now, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. I would like to sing this. Today is the disappearance day. I'd like to welcome, first of all of you. And also, I'm very grateful and very happy to be with all of you. And I'm appreciating the Bhakti Japa Sangha group facilitator for engaging me in wonderful Harikatha Association Sangha. So today is the disappearance day of Ishvara Puripad. It's a big significant his influence to our life, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who we follow, who is a sadhu, he is also acting as a guru, and he actually created the Shastra, the Prema Sankirtan, because he is the Supreme Lord. Sadhu, Guru, Shastra, all three authority in one, accepted Ishwar Puripad as his guru. Must be very significant. So we'll discuss a little bit, first part, and second part we'll go to the Bhagavatam, where offering glorification to Kurmadev. So we'll, as Srila Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur literally tells us to sing this song every disappearance day of all the associate of the Lord. So I'm not a good singer. Please forgive me for my horrible voice, but I'll try. You please bring out your wonderful melodious tone and meter and raga and blend it in, relish it from there. So we'll start with that. Je anila premadhana karuna prachur je anila premadhana karuna prachur hena prabhu kotha gela acharya thakur hena prabhu kotha gela acharya thakur kaha mora sarup rupa kaha sanatan kaha mora sarup rupa kaha sanatan kaha dasa raghunatha patita pavan kaha dasa raghunatha patita pavan amara bhatta juga kaha kabira kaha mora bhatta juga kaha kabira eko kale kotha gela goranatara eko kale kotha gela goranatara Bhasane kutiba matha anale pasibo pasane kutiba matha anale pasibo Gauranga gunera nidhi kotha gele pabo Gauranga gunera nidhi kotha gele pabo se sanga se saba sangira sange je kaila vilasa se saba sangira sange je kaila vilasa se sangana paya kande narotama dasa se sangana paya kande narotama dasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Vaishnava Gosai Jaya Vaishnava Gosai Jaya Vaishnava Gosai Jaya Vaishnava Gosai Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev. Hare Krishna. Mother Radhika, would you help me with reciting the translation, please?
Yes,
Or you
Prabhuji.
can share.
Yeah. 1. He who brought the treasure of divine love and who was filled with the compassion and mercy. Where has such a personality as Advaita Acharya gone? Anybody else would like to read?
Where are my Swarup Damodara, Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatana? Where is Raghunatha Dasa, the savior of fallen?
Where are Raghunath Bhatta and Gopal Bhatta, and where is Krishna Das Kaviraj? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go?
I will smash my head against the
head
rock
against
and enter
the-
into the fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Hare Krishna.
Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all of these devotees in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottama Das simply weeps. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, devotees. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So I was thinking we can discuss few minutes about Ishwar Puri because it's such a special day, and then we'll go to Bhagavatam. Is that okay, Mother? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Absolutely fine.
Okay. So this morning I tried to put something. Let's see if I'm allowed to share. Let's. Krishna, Krishna, where is Ishwar? Here. Is this visible?
Yes, yes, Maharaj.
Okay. So, sorry, I was rushing to make this presentation. But I'm begging all of you, while I'm going to discuss, can you set your consciousness? What would you like in your life? At this time in your life, what would you like from a great Vaishnava like Ishwar Puri Prad, who is a guru of Lord Chaitanya? And because I read about Jiva Goswami Pad's beautiful appreciation, he said, on the disappearance day and appearance day, those great personality, because they exist in a Suddhasatta platform in Golok Vrindavan or some preaching mission somewhere, because their existence on pure goodness, whoever, wherever, thinking about them even for a moment, they pay attention and fulfill the desire of those devotees. So please think what you really need in bhakti while I'm going to discuss, and you'll receive it. That's not my promise, it's their promise. So it's very nice. And I remember on the Srila Prabhupada's Besa Puja day, we are discussing about why do we celebrate? Why do we need to celebrate disappearance day and appearance day? Because celebration of disappearance day, like today, Ishwar Puri Pads, is an expression of the gratitude that each of us feels for him, for our Guru, for Ishwar Puri Pad. They are our preeminent Shiksha Guru. spiritual master for ISKCON for next 10,000 years at least. I mean, eternally, but at least 10,000 years, Prabhupada said the ISKCON will be there, visible. So that Kritagata, Sanskrit word is Kritagata, means what did I receive from them that I will be eternally indebted? If I cannot value, if I cannot calculate what I received, what came through them in my life, I will not be appreciating genuinely. So it is necessary to see what we got from each personality in our spiritual life, then we'll remain grateful. So grateful, again, it's an expression that each of us should be feeling. And our by hearing the glory, it will reinforces our feeling for them. And our sustenance to grow spiritually will come from this grateful attitude. So with that note, I'm going to just discuss a little bit about Ishwar Puri. Ishwar Puri paths, I'm not going to tell the whole story. Maybe would somebody like to read this? Or you already read probably. This is enough probably.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Okay.
Sri Ishwar Puri appeared in this world on the full moon day of the month of Jaisthya. He served his guru Sri Madhavendra Puri very faithfully, especially during the end of Sri Puri Pad's life. Hare Krishna.
Very good. This is Panchatattva of Mayapur. And I'm sure you all are familiar with Panchatattva, how they are related to Ishwar Puri Pad. Ishwar Puri Pad is a god brother of Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu, and Guru of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Personal associates of Gadadhar Prabhu. When Ishwar Puri Pad came to Mayapur, before Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he stayed with Gadadhar Prabhu. And Srivas Prabhu was conversing with him. There's a whole description in a shorter version. So when we pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the reservoir of spiritual ecstasy. He is the ocean of. And through Nityananda Prabhu, we get this. All the gurus are found at the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. He has the key. They have the key to get it. Advaita Acharya Prabhu is the invitation letter that he sent twice to come and to after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed his Leela, when Advaita Acharya's sonnet came to him and Mahaprabhu disappeared from this world. So Prabhupada made a very point. Advaita Acharya actually invited him. Also, he let him go. So if you want Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in your life, you have to also invite Advaita Acharya to actually make that preparation in your heart. Then Mahaprabhu will appear very easily. And Gadadhar Prabhu is the favorable devotional mood to chant or to serve coming from him. We should always be appreciating and thankful to Gadadhar Prabhu. And Srivas Prabhu is the eligibility. He is the first jiva, living entity, that in Bhakti Rasa. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's camp, when you enter, here is your body. You can say, Srivas Prabhu, you are our origin. I'm here. He will immediately open the door. So all these 5 personalities is very important in our life. Now here is something to learn. But, maybe it's too small. Can somebody read?
Can I read?
Sure.
I take shelter of the spoke Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who himself is the tree of transcendental love for Krishna, its gardener, and also the bestower and enjoyer of its fruit. CC Adi 9.6. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. This is a shorter version where you are, where you were, and where you need to go. 3 questions in a shorter answer. When Mahavishnu Advaita Acharya sent you in this universe, it's not a coincidence that we all are in this universe. It is Mahavishnu who decides which soul will go which universe. It's unlimited universes. From the Tatastha region, not from spiritual world, Tatastha region, that we need to develop love. So at the beginning, you were in the budding state. When Satyuga, Prahlad Maharaj's first pure bhakti manifested by Prahlad Maharaj in Satyuga. That time, your heart, where were your heart? Where were love of God? Where your heart? I don't know. I don't know if you know it. Maybe you can trace it. I don't know how. But where our love of God in the heart, in what shape is depicted here. Love of Godhead is within us. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kobonoy. But it was in a budding form. Prahlad Maharaj started showing some little sign of opening, seeking for pure love, not just sense gratification. Then when Vyasdev appeared and manifested the Veda, it started blooming little bit. When 4 Acharya established the Dharma or Bhakti, then it's blossoming. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, Ishwar Puripad blessed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with that Krishna Prem, which he got from Madhavendra Puri. Then completely bloom. So now each of us, we can detect where we are and where we are going or what we need. In a shorter version, someone else can read this one.
Hare Krishna. Sri Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami has described in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that the first sprout of the desired tree of devotion was manifested in the person of Sri Madhavendra Puri, and that sprout developed into a sapling in the person of Sri Ishwara Puri. Then, in the person of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was also the gardener himself, that sapling became the trunk of an enormous tree, the desired tree of devotion. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, 9.10 and 11. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Now, how do you know you are getting it? Well, see if you have a connection with this parampara. This is the way to detect. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to Mathura, he was invited by a Brahmana, Sonoriya Brahmana. I'm sure you heard about him. And Mahaprabhu was surprised. This Brahmana is acting little difference. He has a genuine feeling for the Lord, genuine feeling for the Vaishnavas. These are the symptoms. And Mahaprabhu says, this is strange. And this is where the exam or examination comes, where you can detect whether you are in that parampara. And Srila Prabhupada on the purport very nicely explained that who is close to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will get that, imbibe that transcendental rasa. There is a difference between bhakti and bhakti rasa. We are follower of Krishna consciousness. We want to be Krishna conscious being. Originally, Madhya Lila chapter 8.139, Prabhupada said, we were pure consciousness we had. The conditioned soul from the Tatastha region. We are trying to become from pure consciousness to Krishna consciousness. There is a vast difference. Bhakti to Bhagavan, to God, it's depicted, described, vividly exhibited by 4 acharyas. No problem. It was wonderful. But what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give, what Prabhupada came to give, was not bhakti only, bhakti rasa. In a simple explanation, I can say, when Akshayananda Swami asked Prabhupada, how did you come up with this idea of International Society for Krishna Consciousness? Why Krishna Consciousness? Why not Gauriya, Mahaprabhu Temple, Chaitanya Math, Gauriya Math, this? So many things are there. Prabhupada said, but the essence of Mahaprabhu's gift is Krishna consciousness, Krishna Bhavanamrita, Krishna Bhakti Rasa. He said, but is there any reference? It was very nice. The Western sannyasi, not challenging Prabhupada, but they're intriguing. And Prabhupada appreciated. Prabhupada said this. He likes Tamal Krishna Maharaj's intriguing question always. Prabhupada said, yes, I got this from Rupa Goswami Pad's one sloka. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Muti. We're not only following Bhakti, we're following Bhakti Rasa. So what is that literary in our language to understand that? Mother Jashoda. It's a good example I thought many times. Mother Jashoda, every day she offered everything she cooks to Narayan. And then she feeds everybody. Of course, Krishna with Nanda Maharaj first, and then everybody gets, all the cowherd boys, and then the ladies, and then of course Radharani gets the remnants of Krishna. Then it goes like this, line in a whole channel, everybody gets fed. But when Mother Jashoda, Krishna is hungry for breast milk. When Madhumangal does not want to give Krishna the buttermilk, Krishna pushes his cheek and all the buttermilk from his mouth come to Krishna's mouth. These are not bhakti, it is bhakti rasa. When Mother Jashoda is feeling ecstasy more than when she offered to Narayan, she feels good that Narayan is taking, this is bhakti, the prasadam has to be eaten. But when Krishna is sucking the breast milk, she feels overwhelmed. She's sweating, she is crying because of ecstasy. She prays to Narayan for him. She's massaging his fatty thigh, also breastfeeding, also conversing in between. How she does, this is the beauty. This is bhakti rasa, it's not a bhakti. It's more than bhakti. I mean, it is bhakti, but culmination. Before Mahaprabhu, nobody talks about bhakti rasa. That is in English called Krishna consciousness. So Mahaprabhu detected, of course, these are vast explanation. I'm going to go shorter. Let's see. Is it readable?
Yes.
Yeah. Can somebody read this? This is very interesting because somebody will challenge you. Maybe not. You'll never get challenged. But somebody challenged me, says, what is the difference? Why all the Vaishnava in the whole universe are not same? I said, no, our parampara is very particular, very special. You will never found in this universe before Mahaprabhu came. So please, Mother, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. How Madhavendra Puri is the origin of Krishna Prema Bhakti. After Srila Madhavendra Puri, worship of both Radha and Krishna was established. For this reason, Sri Madhavendra Puri is accepted as the root of worship in ecstatic love. Sri Padara Mora Gosinara Sambandha Taha Vina Anyatra Nahi E Primaya Ganda. Your holiness is certainly related to Sri Madhavendra Puri, without whom there is no fragrance of ecstatic love. And the purport, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur remarks that up to the advent of His Holiness Sripad Lakshmipati Tirtha, it was the system in the disciplic succession that Madhavacharya to worship Lord Krishna alone. After Srila Madhavendra Puri, worship of both Radha and Krishna was established. For this reason, Sri Madhavendra Puri is accepted as the root of worship in ecstatic love. Unless one is connected to the disciplic succession of Madhavendra Puri, there is no possibility of awakening the symptoms of ecstatic love. Only Madhavendra Puri Parampara can get this prema. And Krishna Premataha Yanha Tanhara Sambandha Vina E Premara Kaha Nahi Ganda. This kind of ecstatic love can be experienced. This kind of ecstatic love can be experienced only when one has a relationship with Madhavendra Puri. Without him, even a scent of such transcendental ecstatic love is impossible. Hare Krishna.
Isn't sweet?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't preach this to public because then they will get probably like confused. But we must know that our parampara, our life, we should be like dancing 24 hours a day. Just to be connected with ISKCON or this parampara is like a joyful. I don't care to take birth in Satya Yuga, Dapur Yuga, any Yuga, only this time, right now, where we already, those who have come, and we want to make other fortune. So thank you. Okay, one more page. Somebody, please.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry, I made it too short. LC means Lord Chaitanya. You can just, sorry.
Is somebody reading? Shiromani Nandarani Mataji, go ahead, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Detected Madhavendra Puri in Sanoria Brahmin. One Krishna in many gurus. We must have the vision to recognize the presence of our guru's temperament. Mahaprabhu says Madhavendra Puriya Sambandha Adhara Jani. When Mahaprabhu met the Sanodia Brahmana, upon seeing his movements, he at once detected that his Brahmana must have some connection with Madhavendra Puri. He said, without his connection, I could never find such symptoms of transcendental ecstasy. It must come from Madhavendra Puri. So we must know Krishna consciousness in truth. It is said, Acharya Mam Vijaniya. The spiritual master is not to be differentiated. One thing is coming down from the Supreme Lord. So the oneness of continuity is not to be ignored. Guru can be here, Guru can be in another body also. The same teacher may come in a different body to inspire us. He may come to give us new hope and higher education. The substance should always be given a higher value than the form. First, understand the degree of purity in Krishna consciousness. The followers of form are only imitationists. They want only to exploit Mahaprabhu and not to serve him. They are our worst enemies. They are traitors. They have taken the garb of Mahaprabhu's Sampradaya and they are saying something bogus. This is cheap marketing. They are extensively selling adulterated things very cheaply. They have no inner necessity to attain the purest thing. Pujala Ragapata Gaurava Bhange. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Can you continue reading this, please? The next.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Although Best was such an exalted Vaishnava, never presented himself as a great devotee. He always used to say, I am a servant of the Vaishnavas. That was his claim. And he would say, the higher devotees are my guru, they are so exalted. First come and practice all these things, and then you can hope to reach the goal. It is not so easy or so cheap. Out of many liberated persons, a pure devotee of Lord Krishna is extremely rare. Koti Mukta Madhye Durlabha Eka Krishna Bhakta. Krishna consciousness is an internal thing, and those who cannot see the internal truth will make much of the external cover. We do not support that. Rather, we are interested in the real spirit. All the opposing elements who are interested in externals cannot touch us. Dogs may bark, but the barking of a dog has no importance because they make so much of the outer thing. They have no real purification of the heart to accept the pure thing, to discriminate what is purity or what is love of Godhead, prema, after which even Brahma and Mahadeva aspire. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
One more page, Mother. Okay.
Sure, Prabhuji. Vipralambe Krishna Seva is the only way Jiva received prema. Madhavendra Puri was a well-known sannyasi of the Madhva Sampradaya. His grand disciple was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prior to his appearance, there was no evidence of prema bhakti in the Madhva line. In his verse, Ayi Diniya Dayardra Natha, Chaitanya Charitamrita 2.4.197. The seat of the religious doctrines of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can be found. Bhakti Vinoda Thakura. Madhavendra Puri was the first shoot of the desired tree of divine love that came out of the Madhva lineage. Prior to his appearance, there was no sign of the conjugal mood of devotion in the Madhva line. The feeling of separation from Krishna, a transcendental Vipralambha, is the only practice by which the spirit soul can achieve perfection. Material feelings of separation give rise to a despondency that reveals the attachment one has for matter, whereas the despondency that results from the feelings of separation for Krishna are the best proof of one's desire to bring pleasure to his senses. The desire to bring pleasure to Krishna's senses, shown by Madhvendra Puri, the great soul who is the root of this movement, is the ideal example to follow for anyone who wishes to serve the Lord. It is especially worth remarking that Mahaprabhu and his closest followers later adopted this example and made it their standard. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank
Some more
you.
is there, Prabhuji? Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. And someone else can read one more. It's too many slides I made quick. I just want to go to that part. Now, last one, sorry. Yeah, this is just to let you all know that you may think like, is it possible like I can get it in this life? Yes, even impersonalist who was criticizing Lord, they got it. And this is the evidence from Chaitanya Charitamrita that Mahaprabhu actually exhibited and how his guru was appreciating Ishwar Puri, because today is his appearance day. Would somebody like to read that one, please?
Yes, Prabhuji, can I read?
Sure.
Hare Krishna. Gaura Ishwara Puri pleased with disciple Gauranga of Nadia. Bala haile paila tumi parama purushartha. Tomara premite ami helari kritartha. Translation: It's very good, my dear child, that you have attained the supreme goal of life by developing love of Godhead. Thus you have pleased me very much, and I am very much obliged to you. Purport: According to revealed scriptures, if a spiritual master can convert even one's soul into a perfectly pure devotee, his mission in life is fulfilled. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur always used to say, even at the expense of all the properties, temples, and mutts that I have, if I could convert even one person into a pure devotee, my mission would be fulfilled. It is very difficult, however, to understand the science of Krishna. What to speak of developing love of Godhead? Therefore, if by the grace of Lord Chaitanya and the spiritual master, a disciple attains the standard of pure devotional service, the spiritual master is very happy. The spiritual master is not actually happy if the disciple brings him money, but when he sees that a disciple is following the regulative principles and advancing in spiritual life, he is very glad and he feels obliged to such an advanced disciple.
Very good. And I was discussing this little bit yesterday with one devotee. And that couple, Prabhupada's disciple, they actually almost started crying, like tears coming. And then, so I was thinking like, yes, if we have a genuine feeling and service attitude, and we understand and appreciate and glorify those personality, Prabhupada and all our Guru Parampara, definitely will get. So I'll end here just by somebody reading this one. What we should do
Can
in
I
that
read?
lecture. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh Krishna, you are sitting within my heart. Please don't put me into forgetfulness. Please always remind me to chant and think of you. Srila Prabhupada, letter 23rd, 1168. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank you. Ishwar Puripad ki jai. During my presentation, whatever thought you had, you're going to get fulfilled. I hope none of you had any bad thought about Ishwar Puri. And I don't think you did, because they really fulfilled. And I started strongly believing those. That was very interesting. Now we're going to go to our Bhagavatam class. So please fold your hand and repeat after me 3 times. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om
Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So today we are reciting 5th canto, 18th chapter, text 33. Yes. So I'm also looking at the time and I get a little scared of the time because time is running so quick. So please, I'm going to we're not going to repeat, just recite one time. Jasmin asankheya vishesha nama rupa akrito kavivi kalpito yam sankhayaya tattha drishapaniyate tasmai namaha sankha nidarshanayate. Jasmin, in you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Asankhya, innumerable. Vishesha, particular. Nama, name. Rupa, form. Akrito, possessing bodily features. Kavivi, by great learned persons. Kalpita, imagined. Kalpita. Yam, this. Sankha, number. Jaya, by whom. Tatta, of the truth. Drisha, by knowledge. Apaniyate is extracted. Tasmai, unto him. Namaha, respectful obeisances. Sankha, nidarshanaya, who is the revealer of this numerical knowledge. Te, unto you. Iti, thus. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O my Lord, your name, form, bodily feature are expanded in countless forms. No one can determine exactly how many forms exist. Yet, yourself, in your incarnation as the learned scholar Kapila Dev, have analyzed the cosmic manifestation as containing 24 elements. Therefore, if one is interested in Sankhya philosophy, by which one can enumerate the different truths, he must hear it from you. Unfortunately, non-devotees simply count the different elements and remain ignorant of your actual form. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Interesting. So there's a two different form is what I understand from this translation. Very nice. One is Sachidananda form and one is not Sachidananda form. Okay, purport. Philosophers, scientists have been trying to study the entire cosmic situation and have been theorizing and calculating in different ways for millions and millions of years. However, the speculative research work of a so-called scientist or philosopher is always interrupted when he dies. And the laws of nature go on without regard for his work. For billions of years, changes take place in the material creation until at last the whole universe is dissolved and remains in an unmanifested state. Constant change and destruction. Bhutta bhutta praliyate is perpetually going on in nature. Yet, the material scientists want to study natural laws without knowing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the background of nature, as Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita 9:10. Maya dakshena prakriti shurate characharam hetu nanina konteya jagadhi parivartate. This material nature is working under my direction. O son of Kunti, it is producing all moving, unmoving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is created, annihilated again and again. Now the material creation is manifest. Eventually it will be annihilated and remains for many millions of years in a dormant state. Finally, it will again be created. This is the law of nature. Very nice. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please join together to beg mercy from Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet and all the Guru Parampara, including Ishwar Puri to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Radha Krishna. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Genanjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurube Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadatisha Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Just one simple sunlight. Okay. Hare Krishna. So this is a wonderful verse. Of course, every page is, every word of Bhagavatam is wonderful. The verse says, Jasmin asankhya vishesha nama rupa akrita. So here rupa akrita means there is a form of God made of knowledge. Satchidananda. If I ask a question to your or ourself or to you, do you need bhakti or you need gyan? Knowledge. You need knowledge or you need bhakti? That will be difficult, no? For somebody. Would somebody like to answer something like that?
Bhakti.
Bhakti.
Knowledge which bhakti.
Sorry, Prabhu, I could not understand. Sureshya Prabhu, go.
Knowledge which gives bhakti.
Knowledge is with bhakti. Okay. And other says bhakti. Anybody else would like to try? Prabhuji, both. You need both. Okay. And the rest, quiet means you agree. Either one.
Both.
Because both. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I would look for both because knowledge would reinforce and help me enhance my bhakti towards Krishna. So the knowledge about Krishna is what I'm definitely looking at to help me enhance my bhakti for Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Very interesting. That's very nice. Thank you. Actually, you all know already answer. I'm just asking just to make sure we are on the same page. Actually, we need bhakti. We do not need knowledge. But bhakti naturally produce jnana vairagya. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. Janayati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Chajat Ahetukam. What knowledge we don't need is the non-devotional knowledge. We do not need. And in this verse, Prabhupada mentioned there is a non-devotional, the Sankhya philosophy and other. There is a Kapila Sankhya philosophy, there is a atheist Sankhya philosophy. And I'm sure we are on the 5th canto, first canto, few places Prabhupada says, one must be conversant with 6 philosophy. And out of 6, 5 are atheist. Before we sit on a Beshasan or discuss Krishna consciousness. Means we should be aware also what is ignorance. One way to look at it, if you write, if you learn correct spelling, everything else is not correct. That's true. But that's not applicable in bhakti in that sense, because there is so much corruption and disguised form of bhakti. So we have to know the pure definition of bhakti. Also, we should be aware what could take us away from pure bhakti in the name of bhakti. So we do need what is produced by bhakti. Bhakti, if you are saying, if you like ask yourself, am I progressing? If you say yes, means you have 2 things. You have a sambandha gyan, which is knowledge, but it is only related to bhakti. And this sambandha gyan has a 3 division. Tat padartha gyan, tam padartha gyan, jiva brahma aikya sajujya gyan. We have to be thoroughly understand. Nowhere in definition of bhakti says that you reject gyan. If you look at it, anna vilasita shunyam jnana karma anabritam. Anabritam, abritam means covered. Anabritam means uncovered. Did not say reject. We must thoroughly understand all the philosophy of this world, but in order to compare, we have to understand the bhakti first. Then we see that, okay, this does not have anything real essence. Because eternal reality based on 3 principles. Krishna is eternal, soul is eternal, or you can say I am eternal, you are eternal, and our relationship is eternal. These 3 constitute eternal religion, eternal bhakti. The whole bhakti is based on these 3. Now to demonstrate this, why Prabhupada, or actually Vyasdev, brought so many times, I'm going to share this with you. Let's see, how do I do it? Very quick. Am I visible, the slide?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. You don't have to know everything in details. Now, I'm going to give a little precaution. Any philosophy takes you away from the pure bhakti, you have to stop. When Bhagavatam giving us this understanding, even in the purport Prabhupada writes, we just read that how so many, whether scientists or materialists, they're giving so many explanation, and actually they are like researching about the nature, researching about God, all these things. And people are also giving their own version. We have to understand that we have to be familiar with it, that these are not purport bhakti, but they are sanctioned by Krishna. Why? Everything is sanctioned by Krishna. We are initiating cause, Krishna is sanctioning cause, and material nature is instrumental cause. She manifests. Why there is a biggest religion who does not talk anything about soul's eternity? There is no discussion of indestructibility of spiritual reality in their scripture. But then why Krishna allows? Even the educated scientists or others in America, they are adapting this. I know personally. Then I'm not just saying the name, that's the only difference, but I'm sure you all are familiar. Why it's one of the biggest religion, but has nothing to do with the eternal need of the soul. But yet Krishna sanctioned how to understand. So to do that, this is, they have intention, they have a good intention. Whether it is really going to deliver or not, that's the question. So to relieve living entity or jivas from all suffering and to make happy, many darshanik means philosopher. Darshanik in a sense, Sanskrit word is very sweet, I like it. Darshanik means they're seeing it and they're explaining it. They are not imagining, they are like seeing it on their own imagination, whatever it is, and they are explaining. So Prabhupada generally revealed this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also mentioned this in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So these are the 6 philosophies, these 5 philosophies, 6 is this bears there. That's separate. That what is that they are giving, that we should be little bit aware, and then you will see actually the whole world is in this, actually. Whole world is running after this. So this is very interesting that first is Gautama. He gave Naya, logic. And if you say, if I ask you, are you a logician? You know, believe or not, every day you do this. You say, hey, this doesn't make sense, I'm not going to do it. Okay, this makes sense, I'll do it. This is the same philosophy. We do this. Whole world do this. Whether then they are aware of or not, where this idea coming from, that everything should run by logic. It's coming from Gautama. He's a big sage, and he saw that people are not people are not philosophically thoughtful. They are unphilosophically thoughtful. Everybody is thoughtful. In that sense, you can say they're full of thought. Means they are not philosophically thoughtful. Their thinking is not backed up by other authorities. From that angle, you can say that there are 2 different groups. But people are, even the homeless, if you spend time, I did one time, that's why I'm saying in San Diego, we used to do Food for Life in a homeless shelter in downtown San Diego. And I spent actually a couple hours one day just to talk to different guys. And they all have some idea what to do in life. And you wonder why they're homeless. If they know already everything. That's how the Maya's covering potency works. And Gautama Rishi, he gave this idea that yes, they should do this. So if they do it, they will eventually find the way out of it. Then Canara came, he gave Vaisheshik atomic theory. Now he gave atomic theory in a sense that he said everything, everything you see in this world causing you depress or suffering or happiness, it's all actually combination of atoms. Everything made by atoms. So why you have feeling of suffering? You should know this, and more you understand this atomic theory, that everything is a combination of atom, then you will like kind of give up. And I think I mentioned this before when one professor, I was a little mean. I can be mean, but I don't want to be anymore. But when one professor, he told me, he grew up as a Catholic, but he never practiced, neither his parents, he told me. So he said, I don't believe anything, I believe in atomic theory. That everything is combination of atom, my body, your body, everything. And one day it will be finished, so why worry? His 2-year-old girl, I knew also because she used to come to our shop. And he passed away, his wife passed away. And he called me on the 3rd day. He said, he informed me. He said, my daughter is just devastated, crying. And I was a little mean in a sense. I told him, why don't you tell her that her mother's body was made of atom? There should not be any feeling. I mean, atoms are everywhere. You can just pile up again. Of course, it was mean. It was not nice when somebody is depressed like this. Of course, later on, I apologized and I spoke to the girl and he came. I said, do you see this? The emotional feeling you cannot measure by any machine. The atom does not have a feeling. Now, of course, one Acharya says the Srimati Radharani's body is also made of unlimited atom. Every atom always seeking, what can I do to please Krishna? Every parts of Radharani. This is the mood of this Gaudiya. I said, okay, so atomic theory is also there in the spiritual world. In that sense. So then comes Kapila, where Prabhupada mentioned this. And you'll see this 5 philosophy everywhere in Bhagavatam, here, there, in a little bit of it. Mahaprabhu also said. And Kapila gives Sankha Darshan, Purush and Prakriti. He talks about enjoyer and enjoyed. When you find the enjoyer and enjoyed, then you see that object that makes you suffering, if you don't have an attachment, withdraw your attachment or resist your attachment, you can enjoy without attaching your affection for that. And then you can live like this. That is atheist Kapila, not our Kapil Dev, the Lord Kapil Dev. Then of course comes the Patanjali, who gave the Yoga Sutra. And he says, look, you may say all this talk, but it will not work, because if you cannot keep your mind peaceful, you will never can be peaceful. So come and practice yoga and connect your mind with the super soul and you will be peaceful. But he does not talk about service or the form of the super soul or relationship, nothing. He just leave it like this. Of course, the mundane yoga system is not promoting this. I did go a couple of times, Yoga Society here to speak, and I gave them the letter. I said that we are also yogi, we are believing yoga, we also do yoga, but you should know the yoga ladder, that you have to harmonize in order to feel joyful all the time. You have to harmonize the physical world with the physical body, called Hatha Yoga. Harmonize the subtle body with the physical body, called Ashtanga Yoga. Harmonize the subtle body with the soul, because you are a unit of consciousness, you as conscious being. You have to harmonize through Jnana Yoga, knowledge. And if you go a little deeper, then you harmonize the soul with the super soul through Dhyana Yoga, meditation. And that is also in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6. And Jnana Yoga, chapter 4, like this. It's all in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna gave sequence. And then if you harmonize in love with the Lord, then Bhakti Yoga comes on the top of the Bhakti ladder. So, Yoga ladder. I said, where you are, you check. If there is too hot, too cold, and then you just get nervous, then what do you do? So there are many philosophies. There's another, the biggest philosophy that I mentioned amongst the American educated people are spreading now, beside Christianity. That is They come up with this, that only the combination of different things has created this mental system. And with the dissolution of the mental system, nothing remains. You are free. So somehow we must learn how to dissolve the mental system. That's what they say. So they say practice ahimsa, non-violence, speak the truth. Like this, they have some philosophy. It is seen that all these philosophy are talking either of renunciation or exploitation. Because Jaimini, he said karma mimamsa. I'm sure you are aware, in the beginning of creation, when the Veda manifested, there was 100,000 verses. 86,000 verses only for karma mimamsa. Karma, because people are inclined. They feel they have these four things. They need their strength and their ability and their preference. They feel like if I have a more sense gratification, if I have a bodily comfort, mental comfort, I'm fine. Nobody talks about the soul. So Jaimini's philosophy, even though Jaimini is actually pure devotee, but some or other he gave that by Krishna's desire to give this. And I'm going to discuss why they gave like this. So their idea is whole, the idea of the other philosophy, that some or other you learn how to dissolve that mental system, then everything will be okay. So I asked this Buddhist monk who was teaching that, I said, so where am I after everything dissolved? He said, this question is not relevant. There is nothing you anymore. I said, you are an atheist. Why you take it talking about religion, philosophy? This is atheism. If at the end nothing is there, then what is left? I also don't exist. It's not a question. It's the same as Judaism. Now, we are not against Judaism, but at the end, because I had a long discussion on this Torah, there is a two Torah. One Torah is a 5th chapter of Moses, we call Torah, and there is another Torah, that commentary on the Torah by the rabbis. So they are called second Torah, which explain, but they always conflict, no final conclusion. And one person, very nice, Weisberg, very good friend of mine, he got 3 PhD on this Torah explanation. He loves, by the way, he loves Hare Krishna philosophy and prasadam. And he really appreciates Prabhupada. So him and his wife Bahira, they practice Krishna consciousness, but he's also rabbi in a synagogue here. So they come up with this idea, yes, at the end also same. Like nobody knows what happened to you. You just blended into this existence of nothing. What's the difference with Buddhism and Sankara philosophy? Only difference is Sankara says, no, you're not nothing. You are something. What am I something? You're Brahman. Oh, what is in the Brahman? Nothing. It's the same thing as before. So it's like another form of cheating, you can say. But we don't confront, but we should be fully aware what they are. Let me see where I'm going with this. Okay, you can find where Prabhupada said like this. Let's see where it's going. Oh, these are the personality. Okay, I just finished those very quick in a shorter time because of the time. Krishna. Somebody. Okay, so what is the conclusion? I'm going to say, and then I'll end here. And then Krishna is like. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave a very nice conclusion on this. He says that I have come to realize that why, my Lord, you sanction all this non-devotional philosophy, non-devotional religion. Why? So he gave an example that I have come to conclusion, I'm paraphrasing, that all these fellows are all cheaters. They all have the common stand. They have no touch of your devotion or your service. On that level, they are all one. They cannot deliver any real good. They are common to oppose your devotional service and supremacy. We can actually get out of that. So I can talk. Okay. So then he says, it is your arrangement to segregate the hopeless person to another side for the benefit of the good side. That is your design. And they are also serving you in some way. Because nothing is outside you, Bhaktivinoda Thakur concludes saying that I bid goodbye to all of them. I feel in my heart that I shall show respect to all those so-called agents from a distance. However, my only capital is the dust of the holy feet of your devotee. I rely on the dust as the source of all my prospect. I seek to put all my energy into taking the dust of their holy lotus feet upon my head. And this is enough for me, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Now, he did say very clearly that what are those philosophy actually came for. So I give you one example in my practical life. I went to an emergency about a couple decades back here in Gainesville because one of my employee, Arjun Prabhu's finger was cut severely. So 911 came and gave Band-Aid and they said, go there immediately. So we went there, but I was waiting for 3 hours. And after inquiry, they say, your emergency is not noticed as an emergency compared to others. So I could not get in. Then all of a sudden, one Mataji came in a wheelchair and they took her inside. And I was disturbed. So I went to the reception and I asked, how could you do this? This lady just come and you just allow, and we are waiting. There are 30, 40 people in the emergency waiting room. She said something very shocking to me. She said, if that patient was there even 1 minute more, you all would be contagious with her disease. It was so infectious. I got scared. So I took back and I said, thank to Krishna. And I thanked that receptionist. I said, thank you for doing such a favor to us. So I relevant to this. Why in the purport we talk so much about this atheist philosophy, scientist philosophy? They are required. You know why? To divert those demoniac nature that have no interest to bhakti at all. And they're going to create disturbance to the innocent who are coming to ISKCON or Krishna consciousness. To divert them, those atheist philosophy, non-devotional philosophy is required. So they can be in their own world and leave us alone. We can practice peacefully. This is my conclusion. Now it's 8:32. Am I too late?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Because I was going to just discuss just one thing, that what is that knowledge form that we got. So if you allow me, I'll just go very quick. Okay, sorry. How do I go? Share. Sorry. Okay. I don't see it there, but it's okay. I'll just discuss very quick. Maybe you can remember. Today's verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that he's offering respect to the form of knowledge by which countless other form that we have attachment, material thing, like a husband, wife's body, husband's body, children's body, not seeing them as a soul, as a servant of Krishna, just seeing them as the body or this world and all this, everything will disappear. So it's so nice. So nice. This verse is so nice from that angle, that if we can meditate on the knowledge form of God, then all other form will disappear. Now, to demonstrate this, why do we need knowledge form? 1863. Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita. If you have Bhagavad Gita, you can look at it. 1863, Krishna says, Iti te genam aikhatam guyat guyataram maya. Bimisra etad ashesham jatha ichhashi tatha kuru. Arjuna, you should have knowledge incomplete. I have delivered all the confidential knowledge. Now you decide what you want to do. Now, some of you, would it be fair if you have the knowledge, but you choose whether you want to love Krishna or not? Is that a fair, or actually you want Krishna to force you to love him? Can somebody just help me with the answer?
He had to force us to love, because ultimately that is our goal, right? And he's our father. He needs to put us in the path. We are children, we are going in a wrong way. So he's our father. So he need to somehow hook or cook, he need to bring us back to him, take us back to him.
Okay, thank you. That's a well taken. Now I'm going to tell something about it. If you focus on that verse, Bhagavad Gita 18.63, because actually there is a one Indian professor who is also in a Vaishnava Sampradaya, not in ISKCON, but he was saying that the soul does not have a independent choice. This is not correct. I said, yes, Krishna himself asked this verse, 1863, Jataishiti tata kuru. So here, why Krishna will not force you in one sense, I'll tell you. Bismid tad asheshena. If you look at that word-to-word meaning, how Prabhupada put it, or Bisham Chakravarti Thakur, combination. Bimisha means absorb, contemplation, serious intellectual thought about it. And asheshena means you can read like, think seriously. Whatever you heard, Arjuna, I have spoken everything about spirituality. Think deeply. Don't leave any stone unturned. Then he says, Jata ichhashi tatha kuru. Means as you desire, you can act. So earlier, Bhagavad Gita does not give commandment, it gives choice. This is important. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita did not command, you guys do it, otherwise I'll send you to hell. He never said such thing. He gave the information, but he gave choices. So Bhagavad Gita has said, act for the pleasure of Krishna. That is what Bhagavad Gita's message. That's true. Act for the pleasure of Krishna. It is indirectly mentioned in the previous verse. If you look at 62, Tam eva saranam gaccha. Does not impose this message. It says that I told it to you. If it makes sense, you act accordingly. Otherwise, you have the free will. You can choose how you wanted to act. So that freedom, Krishna never takes away from us. Krishna always gives us freedom of how we may wanted to act. You know, I saw a child had $100 just to check it. And he is 1 year old. He loves candy. So he got $100 and we went to a shop and we asked the child, do you want candy? He said, yeah. He said, but you have to give this $100 to him and you will get nothing in return, just one candy. Okay, no problem. Gives the candy. I mean, he got the candy and gave the $100. Now you may say, well, I'm intelligent, I will not give because candy cost maybe $1. Why you'd give? See, that's the called knowledge. He did not have that. Similarly, Krishna does not deprive us from our freedom, but we should not deprive ourselves in the name of freedom. That is my point. In the name of freedom, the child will not use $100 note properly. Similarly, human body is extremely rare, very rare. Also, it is temporary. But Prahlad Maharaj says, Arthadam, it is truly valuable. It can grant us Krishna, the supreme destination. So by this verse, more or less, Krishna has completed the instruction in Bhagavad Gita. So the one has now shifted to Arjuna. You can literally put together, you can say, okay, Krishna finished talking. He said, hey, you do whatever you want to do. I already gave you all the information you need. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur described that Arjuna has gone in deep thought, thinking, what should I do? It's no more question, it's a decision. Same to our life. This was so much that he has spoken, analyzed. Arjuna was in a great thought. Seeing this, Krishna's heart overflowed with compassion. Krishna then told Arjuna, Arjuna, you don't have to think so deeply about this because I'm testing you, but you have a freedom. See your sincerity. I know you are not whimsical. You are not independent. You have a faith on me. So I'll guide you. See, this is why our Mataji, whoever wanted Krishna to force you, actually Krishna, not forcing you, but out of compassion, Krishna came up with this. Then I'll guide you, Arjuna, because you cannot make decision even though you have a free will, free choice. Hence the word, the Asheshena, if you look at it, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you can contemplate as long you want, but there is an implication also. How long can you contemplate? A living entity is contemplating. We are contemplating the moment we came to ISKCON. What I really need. Oh, I like this association. Like truly, honestly, I love Bhakti Japa Sangha, the whole group, the whole metaphor that they have. It's wonderful. I wish I would have another body who be there all the time and listening. But it's wonderful. So please keep up going. So here I end it that a living entity contemplating what can give me happiness from lifetime after lifetime, but has come to false conclusion. So Arjuna was deep contemplation, not able to decide. Krishna makes things even clearer. So I'm going to show you one small PowerPoint, the last part. Here it is. Oh, is it visible? No.
Prabhuji, not yet. No, Prabhuji.
Where am I? Okay, sorry. I have to minimize this, share screen. Okay. Okay. Wherever you are, you have come from this level. Is that readable? Or
Yes.
is it? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So we in a Sannyas college, I'm also a student and teacher in Sannyas college. I don't know if you are familiar. It's only for the Sannyasi candidate, not for everybody. We have a many teaching. I'm also a teacher there. So it's by their affection, they pull me out to be a teacher also. So this is a 5 level we think in ISKCON we should go. And it is all backed up by Prabhupada's purpose driven, Lord Krishna's purpose driven. And I'm going to end with this, but I want somebody to read. Wherever you are, doesn't matter. See yourself where you are. Can somebody read the first one and the next person, second one?
Can I read, Prabhu?
Sure.
Community, no prior contact with ISKCON or with Krishna consciousness. Community, the unpreached, the largest circle that contains the most people, materialistic person, goal, worship. Hare Krishna.
Crowd, regular attendance, Sunday feast and festival crowd, regular guest, goal, become his devotee.
Congregation, regular attendance, practicing bhakti. Believe in Srila Prabhupada's mission, community member, goal, service, and sadhana.
Committed. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Committed, initiated devotees engaged in sadhana and crowing, maturing disciple goal surrender.
Core.
Yeah, Mataji,
Please
go
go
ahead.
ahead, Mataji. No, you go. I'm sorry.
Core, leading devotees, smallest group with the deepest level of commitment, happy servant, goal, distribute and uplift. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Each topics takes 1 hour discussion, so we are not going to do that, but at least some seed I wanted you to have. So in future, I may share with you. Now I'm going to, oh Krishna, where is the... Let me see, sorry. Oh, I have to stop this, that's why. And I'm going to show you how do you come to the core in one sentence. And how do I go again? Oh, Krishna. Okay. Oh. Share screen. There it is. When you have time, please read Bhagavad Gita from, okay, somebody please read this.
Bhagavad Gita 18.65 to 69 gives the purpose and their sequences. We should worship Lord Krishna, become his devotees, serve him, surrender to him, distribute his knowledge to others.
And Krishna says in 69, the last verse, when you read, you will see. When you come to this last point, that's the 5 things you do. Think of him, worship him, become his devotee, serve him, surrender to him, and share. If you do these 5 things, Krishna says nobody now or in future will be higher than that. That will please him the most. Because I had an idea in Mayapur that when you become mature means you go hide in a cave in Radhakund or somewhere in Holidam and just chant whole day. But our Acharya did not say this, neither Mahaprabhu said this. Those are great places. Yes, we should respect those devotees. Prabhupada also allowed this in Mayapur to a devotee who is incapable. He is going to die in 6 months. But after 6 months, he gave up everything because doctor said he is not going to die. So Prabhupada said, this is nonsense. I gave him Babaji initiation. I don't know if any one of you ever heard. Prabhupada gave one Babaji initiation and he stopped it. He said, this is nonsense. I thought he was going to die and he's not dying. Then he should stay Babaji and progress. But instead he gave up and came to the West and got married and he wants to enjoy life. I don't know where he is now. But point is, then Prabhupada made it very clear in that lecture. We should know our purpose. So I want some feedback from you. 5 things we should do. Think of Krishna, means worship him, become his devotee. When I say become his devotee, become joyful devotee. Serve him, surrender him, share his knowledge. 5 things. I end here. Somebody please give me feedback on those 5
Hare
things.
Krishna, fall in love with Krishna, talk to him 24 hours, worship him, and take care of him and take care of yourself and build a relationship with him that no one can steal from you. Hare Krishna.
I didn't hear the last part.
Build a relationship with him between each other that no one can take that away from him. No circumstances, situation can remove that from your heart.
No, there is something more. Okay, wait, Mataji is good. Let me hear from somebody else, please. What are the 5 things our focus right now in our life? Wherever you are, but the 5 things, this is ultimate.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga. I think Prabhuji, it is the chanting, association, live in the place, pilgrimage like that. And other two associations, read scriptures.
That's true, but the 5 purposes that Krishna gave, he said there will not be any more. If you have Bhagavad Gita 1869, see what Krishna says. There will not be anyone now or in future higher than that. And if you do these 5 things, 68 verse, it says, Jaidam paramam guyam madbhakti vidashyati bhakti mayi param krittam amevasya sasamsha. You will get bhakti if you do these 5 things. You will come to me, guarantee. The 5 things are again, think of me, become my devotee.
Okay, sorry.
Serve him. Surrender to him. Share this knowledge with others. Something we can do, Bhakti Japa Sangha group, I'm sure they are already doing it. These 5 things, actually we need to focus more instead of thinking like hiding in a cave to chant is the highest. None of our Guru Parampara promote that. We are Ghostanandi. So now you please paraphrase and tell me again 5 things. 5 key points that we need to focus.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Worship Krishna, surrender to Krishna, serve to Krishna, then preach about Krishna to everyone.
Very good. Think of him in the beginning, he says.
Become a devotee.
Correct.
Krishna.
Prabhupada says the whole Bhagavad Gita finish in 17th chapter. The first verse purport in 18th chapter, you see what Prabhupada says. The whole Bhagavad Gita is finished in 17th chapter. 18th chapter is summary. And conclusion is these 5 verses, 65 to 69. This is the purpose Krishna came to give us. Think of him, worship him, serve him, surrender to him, and share this knowledge. It's very simple. Okay, one more person, then I'll be very happy. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my happiness. I just want to make sure that, because they say 3 times repeat, it stucks.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
One should constantly think Krishna always, undeviated attention, become his devotee, always have the intention to serve him and completely surrender to him. And lastly, distribute the same knowledge to others of what we have learned.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any, what do we do now, Mother?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Beautifully explained, and thank you for the presentation, and thank you for the Vaishnav bhajan, and very enlightening class, Prabhuji, and glories of Ishwar Ishwar Puri Maharaj. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I'm requesting devotees, if anybody have any questions, please go ahead or share knowledge.
Or give me these 5. I want to hear million times from million devotees.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam Prabhuji. Think of Lord Krishna, worship him, serve him, surrender him, share the knowledge to one and all.
Can you do that, Prabhu?
By your mercy, definitely, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, then you are pure devotee. I touch your lotus feet and take dust.
I try to do, Prabhu. Mercy of devotee is required.
See, always we talk about goal of life is prema, but nobody explain what it boils down to. What level the prema will actually manifest. What are the symptoms? These are the 5 things. Very nice. Thank you. Any
Hare
other?
Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
I had something to say and ask. Well, I'm just a neophyte. Nowhere any of this, what do you call, the 5 major essence of Bhagavad Gita giveaways there. I just started. And of course, I'm not there to kind of, at this point of time to share this, beautiful divine knowledge to others, because I myself not there, right? Something I feel a long way to go, right? So what do you think would be the suggestion to me? First of all, I'm not there. I myself can kind of, contemplate. I mean, I'm able to apprise myself where I stand, right? So what would be your advice? Hare Krishna.
I think, Mother, you are already well situated with Bhakti Japa Sangha group. They have a chanting, they have a philosophy, they have a bhajan, they have everything. So whenever you have time, associate with Bhakti Japa Sangha group. And also you reflect the verse I said, 18, I hope everybody remember, 18 chapter 65 to 69. The 69 verse, 68, Prabhupada quote random here, there, that people misunderstand. They think the highest perfection of prema, you hide somewhere and do your bhajan. Highest part, yes, you should be inner connected, there is no question, but you need to also uplift other consciousness. Why? Now, next class, I will demonstrate these 5 key points. Purpose drives that Krishna demonstrated in Bhagavad Gita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'll show you the same 5 in another format, but same essence. Rupa Goswami Pad, same. Shraddha Sadhu Sangha boils down to these 5. So Mahaprabhu said in 7th chapter, Kobuna Badibe Tumai Bishay Taranga Punarapi Eitai Pabe Mur Sangha. If you do this, practice and preach, practice and preach, practice and preach, I give you guarantee, you will meet me at the time of death. And material nature cannot push you down not to come to me. Such a beautiful verse. I was like, wow. That if you do this, practice and preach. Because before ISKCON, I grew up actually near a temple in my childhood life, early, up till 10 years. I went with my mother many, many temples. I never had any clue that we need to do this. Nobody preach. You go there, pay obeisance, it's good, nothing wrong. But this inner essential principle that Prabhupada burst it out, I would say burst it out through ISKCON, that what Mahaprabhu did, Mahaprabhu's time, the same thing. If you look at Prabhupada's time, same thing. When a letter came from Australia that there is opposition by the government, we cannot go out on Harinam, distribution of holy name. Prabhupada said, well, Mahaprabhu's time, immediately he said, Mahaprabhu's time, same problem came from Kaji. Chand Kaji says, no more Harinam on the road. Can you imagine in Nabuddin? It's the same principle. Prabhupada said, that means we are following Mahaprabhu. Same symptom is appearing. So in life, Mother, whatever challenges comes, it's already proven by Mahaprabhu that challenges will come. It is your willingness to make your life successful. Most important in a component you need is a good association. More higher association you have, higher association means 3 quality. That person cares for your spiritual life. That person really wants you to uplift, not hanging around. I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say. And Parasparam Anukatham. And they actually are walk to talk, like they practice what they preach. They are into Krishna consciousness. That's what they do. They do these 5 things. You will find in your life, wherever you are, Mother, you will find somebody practicing these 5 levels all the time. They are thinking of Krishna. You may not see it, but when they speak, yeah, they think of Krishna, they worship him, they serve him, they surrender, they talk about surrendering, and they share that knowledge with you. When you see these 5 symptoms with anyone, you know that person is a right track. That's exactly what Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur did. This is what Prabhupada did. This is what Mahaprabhu did. And all the Gauriya follower us should follow this. It's a misinformation that when you are advanced, you hide somewhere to do it. I don't know if that helps you, Mother.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the divine insights, Prabhu. I'm indebted to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mata. Any other
questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say thank you for such a beautiful class. And it was so sweet to hear so many devotees repeat the 5 things that you gave us to, to advance and reach the stage of prema, hopefully in this lifetime or as soon as possible. So thank you so very much, Prabhuji. I'm so grateful for your class. I'm always so happy to see you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother Tiffany. You are such a thoughtful. Can you tell me the 5? Oh, Krishna, why is asking me? Of course you know it, but I want to hear it.
No, I thank you. I appreciate that. To think of Krishna, to worship him, to serve Krishna and the devotees, to surrender and share Krishna.
Very good. Very nice. Very nice. The sharing part, we don't, what do you call, imposed in the consciousness. We think like, I care for my spiritual life. That's all is important. But if we look at Bhakti Japa Sangha group, whatever the ISKCON temples, what is the need? Prabhupada says he didn't come to build temple, open temple. He said just like this. He said, I came here to make devotee. But when so many soul, young boys, girls came together, they need a place to talk and worship. So temple started. Everybody understand? It's a very nice way Prabhupada put it. He said he didn't come. Our importance is myself become devotee and make others devotee. That's all. Krishna will be happy, Prabhupada will be happy. And these are the 5 key points. So thank you for repeating this so much. And I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for enlightening class today. Thank you for sharing the 5 things. Think of Krishna, worship of Krishna, serve Krishna, surrender Krishna, share knowledge others. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We are very grateful to you and we look forward to your association again and again in the future. Let's pay our obeisance to Prabhuji.
Ishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His grace Pran Govind Prabhu ki jai.
Thank
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Class. Thank you.
Thank
so
you
much.
for such a wonderful
Pranam,
class.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Everyone for joining today's class. I guess everybody has unmuted. That's why it's echoing. Thank you everyone for joining today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. We'll meet again on Monday. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Divni Mataji. Hari Bol.
See you tomorrow.